Hey, welcome to World Entertainment. And this whole scenario surrounding Stellar Blade is becoming ridiculous and funny because now the developer is coming out and starting to speak, as well as some idiots from IGN France who are continuing to say stupid things, whilst they were also forced into an apology for what they wrote. And it's not really that much of an apology when you see what they actually did to edit their review, for lack of a better word. But let's have a look at what the developer has said, because what he says here makes complete sense, and at the same time is such a slap to the face of Western journalism for gaming. So here's what the headline is. It says, Stellar Blade developer rejects Western media outlets lampooning game over gender and racial diversity. Now, straight off the bat, the racial diversity is hilarious to hear the Western outlets saying this. The likes of Kotaku and all these morons. Where's our diversity? It's an Asian game, you morons. How much diversity do you want in an Asian game? Jesus. And then they try and tell white players not everyone has to look like you. Fucking idiots. But let's have a look. So I'm probably going to butcher the name, so all apologies for that. So Kim Hae-young Tae, I think is how you pronounce it, the CEO of Shift Up Corporation, the game developer behind Stellar Blade, rejected Western criticism lampooning the game over gender and racial diversity. In an interview with Korean website Ruli Web, I think it's how you pronounce it, Kim was asked about Western media outlets expressing discomfort with the portrayal of Eve and other female characters in the game. And his response was this: I know that in the West, game characters must reflect realistic appearances in many ways, and that numerous issues such as gender and racial diversity are intertwined. However, Stellar Blade is only entertainment and a cultural product. I hope you'll keep an eye on this, as a fun action game has just been released. What an absolute base statement to say. They want to have everything look like the real world and everything else. Good for them. Our game is purely entertainment, and it's a cultural product, i.e. it's Asian. So when they're all sitting there going, it's not diverse enough, they're literally saying it's a product of Asia. It's absolutely diverse, you window lickers. It's getting hilarious. But then the apology had to come. But why did the apology come? Well, what was IGN's France? Now, it should be stated that it is IGN France who did this with their review. They're all the same though, still the same company. This was their original review. They wrote this: the design of the game, particularly its characters, highlights an obvious bias. We're going to smash the alien, but if we can do it while pleasing these gentlemen, that's a bonus, and the result is not really a success. It's not new, and other games have chosen to highlight the strengths of their female characters, but where a Bayonetta, I think is how you say it, stands out with an iconic character design, or a B2 from Nier Automata inspires an entire generation of cosplayers, Eve from Stellar Blade is just bland. A doll sexualized by someone who, this is the important part, sexualized by someone who has never seen a woman. Now, the hilarious thing about, obviously, that statement of Eve is just bland. It's a doll that's being sexualized by someone who's never seen a woman. The issue is Eve the body is a real woman. In fact, it was this Korean model. And then you get as well that it was designed by someone who clearly never saw a woman. Well, the creator of the game is married to an incredibly attractive woman, and that incredibly attractive woman designed the face and the character. So a woman designed this female character. Yes, the face is different. The face is not the model's face, but that face was also designed by the guy's wife. But of course they got backlash for it, and they ended up editing that review, where instead of saying you would think it was someone who never saw a real woman, they changed it to you would think this person may have never seen a real woman. Yeah, but they were now forced publicly to apologizing, and this is what their apology reads. Recently, IGN France produced and published a preview of Stellar Blades containing an offensive passage that should never have been kept. The text has now been edited, and here is our official apology to the Shift Up Corporation studio staff. Also, please note that IGN France is an independent branch of IGN, and that IGN's editorial staff had nothing to do with this incident. I love that. So they immediately throw their other branch under. It's not an independent branch, it's the same company. The original text of the Stellar Blade preview contained comments that were out of place. While it was never our intention to disrespect Shift Up or any of its employees or their work, we recognise that the phrase taken in its literal sense was inappropriate, and we regret it. You regret it so much, you barely changed it. You kept the whole sentiment in there, you just added one line. And it continued, to anyone at Shift Up Corporation who felt personally targeted and insulted by this passage, we are truly sorry and sincerely apologise. And that is just an absolute nothing apology, because it's, oh, we're sorry if you were offended and whatnot. It should never have been written like that, so we changed it. Where it's still written like that, everything that was said is still said. We just added a couple of lines so it doesn't directly say you'd never seen a woman. It sounds more like, yeah, maybe you've never seen a woman, and yet you're still saying that the body type is dull, it's a doll, sexualized for men, blah blah blah, even though it's a real woman. Ridiculous. But then IGN France editor-in-chief Erwin, however the hell you pronounce his second name, implies that Eve's design in Stellar Blade is killing women and accuses gamers of becoming too fragile due to being fed the patriarchy. Are you kidding me? So IGN France editor-in-chief Erwin, however you pronounce his second name, recently implied that Shift Up Corporation's design of their main character Eve in Stellar Blade is killing women. He also asserted that gamers have become too fragile due to being fed the patriarchy. What kind of hilarious crap is that? I have up everything that he said on Twitter. Someone got it translated, put it on there. I'll let you read it. It's composed the video or whatever and read it. It's there, because we'll probably get in trouble for reading that stuff out on YouTube. The fact that he is saying gamers have become too fragile, and yet he is literally saying women are deleting themselves because of this design. Are you kidding me? That is the dumbest thing I think you could say. How did, the irony to sit there and say that it's damaging to women's image and stuff. It's giving them the self-confidence and blah blah blah. It's destroying all of that on them because it's an unrealistic body type it doesn't work, it's not a real woman, even though it is a real woman, that the women are now deleting themselves, blah blah blah, and he goes on and on and on. And then to turn around and say the gamers are too fragile. I think it's you moron journalists who are the fragile ones, because yous are the ones who keep panicking when games like this come out, or a movie comes out where, oh look, it's a strong white straight male as the lead. Oh no, where's the diversity? Where's the women? Oh, they're just going for the page. Shut up, you goddamn idiots. The game world is fucked thanks to these people. And when you're getting comments like that, they just prove us right. And now they know, and this is why they're terrified, that they are going out of business. But the likes of all of us here on YouTube are soaring to new heights, because we just call it as it is. At least the majority of us. Not the likes of the shills and stuff who will bend over and take it up the jacksie just for quick access to a premiere from Disney or something. But how do you say, how do you go out and apologise? Oh, that message we put out, that should never have been put out, written the way it was. So we just added one bit. We didn't take anything out from it. We didn't remove it. We just edited one tiny little bit. But we're still saying you're all toxic, basically. Morons. And the quicker they all go out of business, the better off we'll all be. And by the way, it seems to be doing great as a game. People seem to be enjoying it. And why wouldn't they? And this will have that kind of effect for Stellar Blade that the whole Hogwarts boycott had. We're then making it the biggest selling game of the year. And I have no doubt that's about to happen again. So, with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.